Today is Father's Day, and I am making this video because I can't buy my dad anything because he has everything. So I wanted to make sure that I let everybody know just how wonderful of a dad I have, Jack Fowler. We weren't we weren't always close growing up. I wasn't really close to my family growing up. I was a pretty bad kid. And I did a lot of things wrong. So I spent most of my life trying to prove that I wasn't the bad apple and that I could do it on my own. And I wanted to prove everybody wrong about anything they ever said about me. And the one thing I can say is my dad was always kind of the silent one until he finally had a moment where he had to speak. And when he spoke, you know what? It hit the heart. I remember I was 14 and I was running away to Halifax again, and I had my bus ticket, and he walked in and said, "Well, if you leave this time, you're no longer my daughter." Well, those words hit me hard, and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to not be his daughter. I just want to get away from all the bullshit, right?" So I cashed in my ticket and I went home. That's the silent, all of a sudden, I'm going to speak to my daughter now and let her know how I feel. Um, when my son died, the last 4 years has been rough. Um, it wasn't until Chanel got pregnant and Lucix came along that I really started stepping out of the pain of the loss of my son. But I want to thank my dad because he was my rock. He was there for me when I was going through some really emotional, painful, horrible thoughts, and he understood. And he didn't judge me. He didn't try to tell me, "Oh, you'll be okay," and blah, blah. He listened and he supported my feelings and he let me talk. And that's a dad. I mean, he's bailed me out of a few things. Being in an emotional, abusive relationship when I was pregnant with my son, and, meeting me almost out in BC to drive me home, a 5-day trip home in the wintertime. I mean, a parent is the person who you turn to when you really need that help. And my dad is the most amazing, and he's the most honest man I know. And I am so thankful that Jack Fowler, my dad, is my dad, because I owe a lot of who I am to him and the morals that he carried throughout time and my life, and his parenting of being there when I actually swallowed my pride and said, "I really need help." I called my dad, and when I think back to it and I look back to my childhood and I think that, there was time when I thought my parents didn't love me, because I was such a bad apple and did everything wrong, but you know what, they love me. And my dad is amazing. And I just want to say happy Father's Day to my father, because he's turning 85 this year, and there's nothing I can buy that he would need, but he needs my love. And I just want to say to everybody how much I love my dad. And I love you, Dad, and I will always love you, and you're my world, and you are the man in my life. So, happy Father's Day, Dad.